Greetings, back with another one. Today's video is brought to you by Gaming Bolt, and of course, as always, I'll be sure to put their channel down there so you can find it, so you can find their channel. But when it comes to the Nintendo brand, if you will, outside of Super Mario, Zelda, I'll even throw Donkey Kong in there. There's a particular gaming franchise that I don't think it gets as much as a reception as those ones I've just named. Excuse me. And that's Star Fox. Now, for those who are old enough to remember, Star Fox is a third-person pilot rail shooter that came out for the what is it? Yeah, the Super Nintendo. I believe the Super Nintendo was the first one, and it kind of had that little polygon look and stuff like that. And Gaming Boy is going to talk about. This video is titled "What the hell happened to Star Fox?" And I asked myself that same question a lot. Now, me personally, well, not too much as what happened to Star Fox. It's just that I think that the rail shooter gaming genre is kind of dated, I guess you can say, as far as what gamers want today. I mean, because when I was coming up, rail shooters were a big thing, especially in the arcades. If you play like the old Virtual Cop games, just all those shooters and stuff, like rail shooters were very, very big. But for the home ports, Star Fox was very big, and I thought it was unique. I believe it was for the GameCube. They came out with Star Fox Assault, and I think that was the first one you actually see Fox being playable outside of the R-Wing. A little bit of a shooter combat. But like I said, I'm gonna just shut up because I'm rambling as normal. But like I said, I already have my ideas of what Nintendo can do to kind of reinvent the Star Fox franchise and stuff like that. But I just want to hear what Gaming Ball has to say about what they think or what he thinks. I don't know if it's more than one person, but here we go. Hajime.
An ace team of R-Wing pilots for hire that fight against evil. There's only one such team in all of gaming, and they're Star Fox. If you play games or grew up in the 90s especially, the odds that you know the name of this band of heroes are very high. And this holds today, even in spite of the limited output the franchise has had in recent years. What gives? There's no gameplay and character set like what's seen in Star Fox, so why don't we see more? Let's look. Star Fox as a franchise is primarily identified as a rail shooter. Much like the Panzer Dragoon series, players navigate a variety of levels in space, identified as planets or asteroid clusters or space fleets. In some
that's how it used to look.
Players are meant to simply survive to the end of a guided level and defeat a boss to proceed. But in other games or in specific levels, players fly in all-range mode, where they navigate a boxed-in space freely and achieve objectives, usually just eliminating targets to clear a mission. Star Fox games are always led by Fox McCloud, the hero and face of
Now, one of my dearest friends. He's like a brother to me. He's like a big brother to me. When I first met him, the gaming, like I said, Star Fox was the gaming franchise that I remember him just revering a lot. In fact, when the very first Super Smash Brothers came out for the N64 back in 1998, 99, he in the old neighborhood, he used to actually, because like I said, if you played any of the Super Smash Brothers games, you would know how Fox runs. He runs with his hands behind his back and the way he runs. So my friend, we used to run like that throughout the neighborhood. It was really silly. So I just started calling him Fox, because I knew that he was a Star Fox fan and stuff like that. He was a big Star Fox fan. So I just started calling him Fox. And of course he plays with Fox in Smash Brothers games and stuff like that. So that's kind of where that came from as far as he's concerned. He's a very dear friend of mine. I love him like a brother, and I call him Fox to this day. And you probably see me play a couple of gameplays with him and stuff like that. So this video is mainly for him, what I'm saying? But like I said, I've always been a Star Fox fan as well. As you see Falco and Slippy and blocking out Pepe. It is Pepe right there. But yeah, man, I've always been a fan of this franchise, and when I saw Assault, that was a different change of pace. But like I said, I'm gonna let Gaming Ball dive more deep into it so we can really get into it.
Of the franchise, and they very often feature other members of the team, typically configured as including fellow ace pilot with an attitude, Falco Lombardi, veteran Star Fox member Peppy Hare, who once flew alongside Fox's father James in a previous iteration of the Star Fox team, and technology specialist Slippy Toad, along with other frequently occurring or occasionally appearing characters. The first Star Fox game released for the Super Nintendo in 1993 and featured mode.
Now, as you can see, Fox, look at his feet. Now, when I first saw, now obviously not when this came up, but when later as the Star Fox games were coming out, I noticed that like I said, I just ate, so I'm burping all over the place. But I noticed that of all of the pilots, they had like metal legs. Now I don't know if this is true, but I read this somewhere because I've always said like in the beginning I thought they were just boots, but I read somewhere is that like Fox, Falco, Pepe, and Slip, like all the pilots in the Star Fox world, they all got their legs and feet removed and they replaced them with these cybernetic metal feet or whatever. And because of the G-force and the R-wings, it helped them, pilot better. Like I read that somewhere. I don't know if that's true, but I've read it somewhere. I don't know how true it is. But yeah, but they said they had the legs, like half of their legs and their feet, surgically removed and replaced it because of the G-force or stuff like that. It's kind of like I don't know. I just read that somewhere. Like somebody confirms if that's true or not, because I've always, thought that was kind of a, uncanny to learn.
7 scrolling seen in other games such as F-Zero. Players choose between 3 routes of levels that start with the planet of Corneria and end with Venom, the home base of the evil Andross, a recurring villain who seeks control over the Lylat system. By this time, Andross has taken control over much of the Lylat system and is moving to take over Corneria. The original Star Fox game is likely known for its highly polygonal environments and objects, and the charming gibberish chatter that the Star Fox pilots trade with each other. The game is a classic and established the definition of what Star Fox gameplay is. Then there's Star Fox 64. There's just no other way to say it. This is the Star Fox game. Any fan of the Star Fox franchise or Nintendo 64's glory days will point you to this game as a must-play in some capacity. Star Fox for the Super Nintendo was built on rail shooter levels, but Star Fox 64 introduced the all-range mode, a welcome addition to the series, and featured some levels wherein players navigate a submarine or a tank. Level progression is more flexible than the
Landmaster. Like I said, I was blown away when this came out. It was so cool.
Level choices depending on if certain conditions are met for certain levels, such as hitting a kill count target.
Now the N64, it's a console that gets a lot of flack. Like I said, of course, back when the 64 was the new system and I was playing it, obviously, back then I didn't hear the criticism, but like, today, just the last 6-7 years, a lot of people have just been dogging the N64, man, because I think before its release, I believe that the 64 was supposed to have a CD. It was supposed to be compact disc, but then Nintendo decided to go cartridge and stuff like that, and that's the complaint that I hear from a lot of people today about the N64. For me, that didn't bug me at all. It didn't bug me at all because at the end of the day, for me, it's all about the gameplay. I mean, like I said, all games back then didn't look great, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, we got what we got, and that was just the level of technology back in the day. So I really didn't care, because if you go back and you see the the PS1 games, a lot of them, like I said, they look the way they look. That's just how the technology was. But for some reason, a lot of people just dogged the N64. So like just for that reason. And the N64 has some of the greatest games ever made. Like, for example, if you are a pro wrestling fan, the greatest wrestling game ever made is on the N64. For those who don't know, I mean, that's just my opinion. But the greatest wrestling game that I've ever played is still on the N64, and it's called WWF No Mercy. And well, WWF, that's what they were called back then. But it is like the WCW, NWO Revenge, and the WrestleMania 2000. Those are the greatest wrestling games I've ever played. But like I said, this is not a wrestling game. This is not a 64. This is about Star Fox. So I just wanted to get that out. I'm just, I just had to defend the N64 in some form or fashion because it was just a fun console for me. It had a lot of fun games, and obviously Star Fox is one of them. But continue.
Target or protecting a comrade by the end of a level. Star Fox 64 also included options for 4-player multiplayer. The gibberish from the first game is replaced with voiced lines, by far one of the most defining features of the gameplay experience. When meme culture for games developed, Star Fox 64's voice acting and script were arguably at the vanguard with several wonders, such as do a barrel roll, hey Einstein, I'm on your side.
Yeah, Falco, you actually friendly fire.
Star Fox. As a game player, everyone owes it to themselves to try this game at least once. Next in the franchise is not a rail shooter, but a Legend of Zelda style action.
Yeah, Adventures, not Assault Adventures. This was the one.
Releasing for the GameCube in
I never owned this one, but I played it.
Andross was recently defeated several years prior. Fox McCloud is tasked with investigating the planet of Saria by General Pepper. The game is notable for two things: the great genre departure established by previous games and the introduction of Crystal. Crystal is a female fox who picks,
and that was what I thought we were gonna see more of. I thought the Star Fox games were gonna be like this from now on, but I'll let Game & Book continue.
Up on a distress signal sent from Saria and investigates Saria herself, but is later captured and freed by Fox when he arrives on the planet himself. The main antagonist of the game is not Andross, but General Scales, and Fox, in order to restore the planet to literal wholeness, must navigate a variety of dungeons, pass ancient trials, and collect artifacts to piece the planet back together. Aside from that, a plucky Triceratops is also introduced in this game. Fox primarily navigates the world of Saria on foot and attacks enemies with acrobatic attacks and using a staff. But few parts of the game feature standard Arwing gameplay. It's an experiment that was never tried again, but it was interesting nonetheless.
I don't know why.
The GameCube and DS era marked a time of prosperous output and experimentation for the Star Fox franchise, hot off the heels of the reputation built by the first two Star Fox games and Fox's appearance in the first and second Smash game. Adventures was followed up by Star Fox Assault in 2005, also for the GameCube. While like
I was saying, man, because like this is the GameCube, so the first Smash Brothers had been released at this point, and Smash Brothers Melee came out for the GameCube. Once we saw our favorite classic Nintendo characters, Mario, DK, Link, Samus, Pikachu, my favorite, and Fox and Falco, all those guys, Luigi. Like once we saw, these guys and gals on foot, I mean, like I said, Fox is a favorite in the Smash Brothers. The Smash Brothers franchise. He's a favorite. So, just seeing how he fights in that game and stuff like that. Like honestly, I wish that the next Smash Brothers that came out to this one, but this is GameCube. So what was the next Smash? Brawl, I guess you say. I wish that Fox would have used that spear that he uses in this game. He should have had some sort of moves like that in the Smash games ongoing. But like I said, this was just a great idea for the Nintendo team to do this for Star Fox Assault, where Fox is actually on foot, and you see all these. I mean, it's just a different change of pace, and I just thought that the Star Fox brand franchise was going to continue doing this, and I guess it just wasn't well received. I guess, like I said, this is a while ago. I mean, I was still in high school when the GameCube and all that stuff came out, so I really didn't hear the criticism back there, but I'm sure it probably was though.
Adventures was an experiment, originally not starting out as a Star Fox game at all. Assault was arguably meant to be an evolution for the franchise. It featured Arwing gameplay and also introduced on-foot gameplay for Fox, with special weapons available for use as well. The mission variety is great. The main villain of the game are the Aporoids, led by the Aporoid Queen. Notable about this game is Peppy taking a back seat as an active member, with Crystal taking his place.
Well, Peppy was like the oldest of all of them, I guess. oldest.
rival
I believe he was the
Star Wolf
oldest.
team introduced in Star Fox 64 is changed. As a game, Assault did its best to really evolve the gameplay and lore of Star Fox. Next in line is the DS title Star Fox Command. Command is notable
Never played
for
this one.
featuring many playable characters and for having multiple endings. Command is a mix of standard Arwing gameplay and turn-based strategy. When an enemy and a player craft meet on the map, gameplay shifts to Arwing mode. The title is totally
turn-based,
designed
okay.
to make use of the DS's dual screen and touch screen abilities. While unique enough in the way it proposed a new direction for the franchise, the endings and the characterizations featured in the game are routinely the subject of derision from both fans and mainstream game players. Command's release would begin a period of dormancy for the Star Fox franchise, the dark times. It would not be until 2011 that a new Star Fox game would come out, Star Fox 64 3D, a remake of the 64 classic for the 3DS.
Oh, yeah,
Great
yeah.
choice to revive interest in the franchise and to remind everyone of what makes Star Fox great, but it's not a new title. If the following years of the franchise's lack of output were any indication, Nintendo was without ideas for what to do with the franchise after 64 3D. Either that, or the company had become convinced that the Star Fox franchise lacked options or a direction to survive in a rapidly changing gameplay landscape. Star Fox games featured colorful stories and riveting action gameplay, but full playthroughs of scenario campaigns tend to be short and don't rely on too much spectacle. But the franchise is built on a team of plucky and skilled pilots navigating overwhelming odds in the name of justice. And so Nintendo would bet big on a new Star Fox title in Star Fox Zero for the Wii U,
Zero.
releasing in 2016. It was a joint effort between Nintendo and Platinum Games. Star Fox Zero was a title that Nintendo did its best
I played a
to
little bit of
advertise,
Zero, a little
with
bit.
Shigeru Miyamoto promoting the game himself and an animated
Shigeru
short, Star
Miyamoto.
Fox Zero: The Battle Begins, published online shortly before the game's release. It was accompanied by the mini title, but not quite a mini game, Star Fox Guard, a tower defense game wherein players must protect targets from attack, with levels increasing in
I ain't even heard of this one.
difficulty. Star Fox Zero's campaign is one long route along a configuration of stages, along with a handful of alternate missions off the beaten path. It was a reboot that features a lot of familiar faces. Cat, Bill, the classic Star Fox lineup of Fox, Falco, Slippy, and Peppy, Andross as the main antagonist, gameplay that primarily revolves around the R-Wing, showdowns against Star Wolf. It's a game meant for Star Fox 64 fans and for game players new to the franchise, familiar with Star Fox largely due to Super Smash Bros. Games. That being
I'm telling you right now, man, when it comes to just Nintendo brands in general, you get a different array of genres, if you will. Particularly, I mean, look what they did with Zelda. They have this sector of Zelda games called Hyrule Warriors, which is kind of like a hack and slash. It's kind of like the Dynasty Warrior games, and they also did it with the Fire Emblem brand. I don't know why they never did that for the Star Fox brand. I think that would have really revitalized and amplified the Star Fox brand if they had like a Star Fox Warriors. Now, when it comes to Mario is just untouchable. People are gonna play a Super Mario game no matter what. It's just and like I said, Mario has always kind of been the same too, until the games went 3D. But the Mario concept has always kind of been the same. But for some reason, the Mario games, they just always sell. And like I said, Mario is the face of Nintendo, so he will never be topped, and he shouldn't be. But I liked how the other brands, they kind of like branched out and did different things. Donkey Kong, they made like a little music game where you use the bongos and stuff like that. So Donkey Kong had like his thing. The Yoshi games and but like I said, it just seems to me like Metroid and Star Fox, those are kind of like the ones they get kind of like left a little bit. And like I said, I love Zelda. I love Zelda when it came to the Nintendo brand. I was a huge Zelda fan. But I just wanted to see a little bit more love for the Star Fox brand too, because it is such a departure from the rest of them. A lot of them, they started out as like side scrollers, platformers and stuff like that, and and Zelda was kind of like over their head. I forgot what you called that, kind of like over their head. That's how they started out. Then of course they went 3D like everything else. But me personally, I think Nintendo should make a Star Fox Warriors, because I still want Hyrule Warriors. I think it's what they call Calamity or something. I don't even know, but I still want it for the Switch. Because like them hack and slash Dynasty War types games, like for example, I got One Piece, Pirate Warriors 3, yeah, I believe 3. I just love those type of hack and slash warrior games, and I can't wait till Dynasty Warriors comes out stuff. But I think they really need to do a Star Fox version of that, playing with because like I said, after we saw all these guys, Fox and Falco and Wolf in Smash, there's no way in hell that they could not make a kind of like a combat based game with the Star Fox characters. But I think Star Fox Warriors would be a good play. Like I said, they should have continued with the Star Fox Assault, way, where you can have your space missions, but you can also have your ground assaults, and then bring back the the landmass and all that stuff. It's things they could have done, but I don't know. I like I said, I don't know if they weren't well received. Just was the payoff not what they expected. I don't know, but I think maybe for the Switch or for the next Nintendo console to come out, they really need to do a Star Fox Warriors, because I just think that's a brand that can really, really help a lot of these brands. Like, I would love to see a Metro Warriors. And I don't know who else you would play with besides Samus. Maybe Zero Suit or one of the doctors, I forget the name was. But I just think Star Fox would be so cool. Seeing Fox and Falco using the blasters and stuff like that. And fire, using the landmass, stuff like that. Doing the little the Musou super moves and stuff like that you see in the Dynasty Warrior games. I think that would be a great concept for the Star Fox franchise. They did it for Zelda. They did it for Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is it was an RPG style game. But they did it for Fire Emblem, and it kind of works for the Fire Emblem characters because they're all sword wielders and stuff like that. So I guess that was just unavoidable. You had to do it. And so was the Zelda. Well, Link is the only one that was a sword really. But then they threw like Ganondorf and Zelda. Well, they made Zelda, like the way she fights in the game is pretty sweet too, with the sword and the rapier style and the bow and stuff like that. But there's no excuse that they cannot do that for the Star Fox franchise. I really think they should do it, man. With I don't know who we contact, maybe Miyamoto or somebody in Nintendo Japan or something like that. But we really need to get this going. Do a Star Fox Warriors, a Super Mario 2. Do the Mario 1 too. I just think that the Warriors genre or format of gaming, I just think that Nintendo really needs to take that and run with it, because that's the thing about the Nintendo brand, is that when you have your Sony and then you have your Microsoft, stuff like that, since Nintendo's kind of taking like a back seat, because I just think that the way that Nintendo Japan does things, it's kind of retro how they handle a lot of things. Just slowly getting there, but I just think it's just more and more genres that a Nintendo should dive into. Yes, a Nintendo out of the three is kind of considered more of the kids, port and stuff like that, which is fine. They should always have that, but I really think they needed to dive more to other genres and stuff like that, because they heavily rely on their classic Nintendo characters a lot. You're always going to get a Super Mario game, you're always going to get a Zelda game, you're always going to get a DK and other things and stuff like that. But because when you look at the Super Nintendo, the 64, and the GameCube, like those three consoles, you got like different franchises, different genres and stuff like that around it. They really experimented. And like for example, we got games like Turok and just other games that I can't even name right now, like Perfect Dark and all this stuff, 007 and something, all of the wrestling games and stuff like that. I would love to see some of those franchises come back for these newer Nintendo consoles. But Star Fox Warriors, man, come on, Nintendo, Miyamoto, whoever. Get this done, man. It would be really, really cool. It'd be such a great concept, especially for a Star Fox game. You got your blasters, and you got your. It'd just be cool. It would be cool, man.
Said, the awkward control scheme for the game and the handling of the gyro wing became the subject of much criticism despite the great effort to attract fans. The length of the main scenario campaign was also a point of criticism, but it also arguably overlaps with the fact that there are no multiple routes to freshen up the experience. 2017 would also see the official release of Star Fox 2 as part of the Super Nintendo Classic lineup, with Star Fox 2 being a SNES title that was cancelled ahead of the impending release of the Nintendo 64. It's comparable in concept to Star Fox Command, though significantly pared down and preceding Command. Players navigate a map full of planets, missiles, and satellites, with Starwolf pilots at times populating the map. You choose 2 units
Yeah,
to
it kind of
clean up
reminds
the
you of
map
a
and take over the
Escape.
planets that are under control by Andross, while protecting Corneria and defeating all enemies. It was also the first Star Fox game to introduce the Walker, which would be seen in Star Fox Zero.
Walker.
Despite the best efforts of the developers, Star Fox Zero's reception is middling on the whole. And this is the franchise leading up to today. Everyone knows the team of ace pilots, but nobody ever knows what's next for them. Everyone likes Star Fox 64, but is there really an audience for another game like Star Fox 64? What exactly should a new Star Fox game look like? To what degree do the reasons for Star Fox Zero's failure extend beyond releasing on the Wii U, one of the least healthy Nintendo consoles, and the strange control scheme? Is the future for Star Fox found in following the footsteps of a previous game, like Command, Assault, or even Adventures? They've made a cameo along with Starwolf in Starlink Battle for Atlas, but one hopes for more for this franchise. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, thanks for watching. And that about does it for this video.
But yeah, man, I'm telling you, like, feel free to to input your suggestion. But I think Miyamoto and the Nintendo team, I really think they need to get back to the Star Fox Adventures way. Having Fox on foot and having more abilities fighting. Like, I really think they need to delve into the fighting mechanics of these classic Nintendo games. I mean, like, yeah, the games are very, very basic, and the combat is not really. I mean, I don't expect to play like a Zelda game or like a Mario game and have the fighting look like what's a good one? I can't even come up on off the top of my head. But like I said, Smash Bros. Just spoiled me. It spoiled me, and I think it spoiled a lot of people when it came to, like, me personally. I think Smash Bros. Is like the only really franchise holding the Nintendo together, at least for me. And like I said, I have Luigi's Mansion and I play other Nintendo games, but Smash is definitely the reason why I would get Nintendo. Like I said, I may not get them anymore because, I mean, what can you do with another Smash? I mean, just more and more characters and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, after seeing Fox and Falco and Wolf and these characters in the Smash games, and seeing the potential of what the Star Fox franchise can do with Adventures, I think Adventures was the best idea that they could have had, and that's something they could continue to keep doing. Make Falco a playable character, or you could have a game where you could have a Star Fox game where you could play as Wolf and see things from his perspective. There's things they could have did, but like I said, I just don't know. But it can't just continue as a rail shooter. I mean, if you want to continue as a rail shooter, it's just going to be for nostalgia reasons. But if you want to reinvent yourself, you got to delve into different mechanics and stuff like that. And I just think that having the on-foot combat, different uses of weaponry and stuff like that, I think that can work for the Star Fox. But like I said earlier, man, Star Fox Warriors, I really think that would take off. Make 2-3 of them, Star Fox Warriors. I would buy that, because like I said, I still want Hyrule Warriors. I might as well get Fire Emblem Warriors, at some point in time. But I think Star Fox Warriors would be good. But yeah, I think they should stay committed to the ground assault. You can keep the Landmaster in there, and of course the classic R-Wing space battles. But yeah, it just I don't know more that I can say. But yeah. And Fox, I'm talking to you, Fox, not Fox McCloud, but Fox Turner. When you see this, feel free to give me your suggestion, because like I said, you're probably the biggest Star Fox fan that I know. So I know that you have, your array of ideas and stuff like that. But I think Star Fox Warriors will be a cool concept. You have your hack and slash, battles, and then you can have, your little and then you can have your little sequence where you can go up into space, get into the R-Wing, and do all that stuff. Me personally, I think that probably should be where Star Fox goes. And have like multiple mode. It doesn't have to be called Star Fox Warriors, but it can be the hack and slash concept where you're fighting all of these different array of enemy types, and then I guess you could have like a mode in the game where you can play the classic R-Wing space battle mode. I think the R-Wing battles, the space battles, that should be like a separate mode, its own classic mode within these new Star Fox games. But I think that the main fighting mechanic for the Star Fox games going forward, it should be like more ground assaults, ground combat. You know, Fox and Falco and Crystal and the whole, you know, Star Fox team, their skills with the weaponry and, you know, guns and blasters and stuff like that. And you know how Fox and Falco, they can use the reflector and smash. You know, you can have more of that, and just really have them just go balls to the wall with the fighting and the martial arts and stuff like that. It would be sweet, because like I said, if you a big Star Fox fan, or if you're just a Smash Brothers fan, you see how Fox and Falco and Wolf and how they fight, it can be done. It can definitely be done. So I'm just longing for the day to see what Miyamoto or the Nintendo team does with the Star Fox franchise. But like I said, I know I sound like a broken record. I just keep saying this over and over again. Star Fox Warrior concept. Star Fox Warriors, man. Get this done, man. But let me know what y'all think out there, man. It's just your boy Bleak, man. 31 cents at it. Another one for the archives. I'm signing out. Until next time, you guys. Thank you.